Salutations, my friends. I am the Mighty Mander, and welcome back to my E3 thoughts and reactions response videos. Today I'm going to be covering Microsoft and Sony. In my last video, I covered Ubisoft, Bethesda, and a little bit of EA because I missed that press conference, sadly. But this one, I'll be talking about the big two, which is Microsoft and Sony. And let me tell you first, guys, my overall impressions is that both of these guys just absolutely knocked it out of the park this year. I always love E3, and like I know it's commercialized as fuck, and it's always just fueling hype trains, but I love it so much, and I can't even really explain why. It's just such a great way to get together and celebrate this hobby that we all have, and look forward to great stuff that's coming later in the year. I love it. It's just, it's beautiful. But anyways, my overall opinion of both of them together is that Microsoft definitely impressed more in terms of hardware, whereas Sony definitely pulled out all the stops when it came to games. Sony it was just game after game after game after game after game with very little talking in between, and there was no cringe. There was no cringe in Sony's press conference. It was great. There was a little bit of cringe in Microsoft's, but I'm not going to talk about that because it was only in like the Minecraft one or whatever. So that was a little bit weird, but other than that, it was overall pretty cool. I mean, probably one of the two biggest announcements that they had in Microsoft's press briefing was definitely the Xbox One Slim, which, like, that's great. I knew it was coming, and I'm glad that it exists, because the Xbox One is a big, bulky piece of shit, and I can't wait to get rid of it, but that just means I have to buy a new console. I hope they have some kind of trade-in deal for it. Like, if they have a trade-in deal where I can like get $100 back on my Xbox One and pay $200 to get the new one, then I'll be down for that. I'll definitely be down for that. I want to get my hands on a new and improved Xbox One. And the one thing, I'm so glad that it has an integrated power supply, because fuck having the power brick. It's just so clunky and outdated, and I don't want it anymore. And I'm glad that I'm glad that the Xbox One Slim exists. It looks like they're completely ditching the Kinect now. Like, not completely. They said they're going to have an adapter for it, but like there's no dedicated Kinect port on the Xbox One Slim, which I'm glad about because I was tired of them forcing the Kinect down our throats. The Kinect is very much just a convenience device. It's just a thing so that you can navigate your interface, like get from one app to another without turning on your controller. So that's a thing. The first game they showed off was definitely was Gears 4. And I mean, Gears is okay. Like, I like Gears. I have nothing against it. I think it's a very, very cool AAA franchise. And I mean, Gears 4 looks pretty cool. It impressed me. And I mean, it looked like I have here, looks cool, looks like Gears, which, I mean, you can't really say anything else other than that. It looks like it's going to be very faithful to its previous iterations, and that's probably a good thing. The one thing I noticed, though, in that presentation, the Gears 4 especially, was that all the fucking gameplay presentations look exactly the same. They're all just like a big action set piece level designed to show off what the hardware can do. And, you know, they show off some of the new weapons. This one, they had that buzzsaw launcher. They show off some of the new mechanics, like blowing away cover and having the weather and the environment have an effect on the physics, which I thought was really, really cool. And then it ends with you getting to your destination, opening a door, and having a big-ass fucking enemy come out and smash the screen, and then it goes to black. It's that way every single fucking time. And, I mean, I'm not really complaining about that. It's just an observation that I had. The next one they showed off was a little bit more of Killer Instinct Season 3. Was it last year or was it earlier this year when they announced that Arbiter was coming to Killer Instinct? So, whatever, but Arbiter's in Killer Instinct, and this time they announced that General Rom would be coming from Gears of War 1. And, I mean, I'm not really sure, out of all the characters, why General Rom seems to get a lot of attention, because I thought he was one of the most forgettable villains, like, I've ever seen in a video game. Like, there was really not that much special about him. Maybe there's more in the lore than I'm getting into right now, but, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he gets so much of the spotlight, but I think that including characters from their other games in Killer Instinct is a very, very effective and very, very smart way to cross-promote their products. Next major release that's coming soon is Forza Horizon 3, which, I mean, I'm down. You guys know me, I love racing games. I love the new setting. Like, Forza Horizon 2 was pretty cool. I mean, a racing festival really doesn't seem very at home in, like, Italy, but in Australia, I can totally see it. I love the new setting. I love the Australian setting because it can definitely be very diverse. There's definitely some woodlands and, like, I don't know, maybe jungle and shit. I don't know much about the geography of Australia, but it looked like there was some foresty shit in there, but it also looked like there was some desert stuff. Definitely going to be some outback, like, just really, really long, straightaway speed runs, and beach stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And there was some more off-road buggy and trophy truck stuff. And yeah, I'm always down for a new Forza. Like, I'm always down for another Forza game. It usually just means I gotta dump more money into it, but, like, honestly, like, what the fuck else do you expect at this point? Like, that's all this is. It's just like, ready your wallets, kids, because I'm gonna suck them dry. Sorry about that. I'm out of breath. Next that they showed off was Final Fantasy 15. I literally could not care less. You guys know me. I've never played Final Fantasy, and I really don't intend to start with 15. It looks like a spectacle and a half, and I think it'd be pretty cool to watch some of those boss fights, but, like, it's really not of any interest to me. Next they showed another trailer for Battlefield 1, which I thought was pretty interesting, and, I was a little bit confused at first, because I'm pretty sure it was literally the exact same trailer that they showed at the EA event. I'm not sure if that was was supposed to happen or not, but, whatever. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, like I said before, it is very refreshing to see a new gen game tackle a different time period rather than trying to create this neo-futuristic bullshit. So, they also announced the Xbox Design Lab, where you can design your own custom controller. Like, I'm gonna make a MightyMander one. That's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna make an orange one with black accents, and it's gonna have TheMightyMander written on it, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. No one is going to stop me from wasting my money. Yeah, I am starting to notice now that a lot of the shit, like a lot of the press conferences, they look the same every single year. They're really indistinguishable from one another. Which I guess, you know, if the format ain't broke, then don't fix it. They pull out the same stops every year, and they always announce new and cool games. So, I guess that's not really a thing. It was just more obvious to me than it has been in previous years, so that's why I bring it up. They showed off some indie games that are going to be coming to the Xbox Game Preview program. They showed a little bit of Cuphead. God, they show little tiny bits of Cuphead at a time, and I cannot wait for that game. That has been one of my most anticipated games for so long, just because of how unique it looks. And I love those side-scrolling platformers and shit, and I can't wait for Cuphead. So that's definitely going to be a thing. But then they also showed We Happy Few, which looks weird and disgusting, and I really like it. So yeah, I can't wait to give that game a try. I'll probably, might do a little bit of that. Maybe I'll do another thoughts video on that like I did with Firewatch. It seems like the right video for that kind of video. I mean, it seems like the right game for that kind of video, rather. My next note is, in all caps, what's with all the fucking card games, dude? Because I think that was when they announced Gwent. It makes me think that, like, Blizzard really are the pioneers, man. Like Bethesda is a AAA company and they know what they're doing, but like Blizzard is like, they're the pioneers. Like, you can see other companies trying to cash in on the trends that Blizzard sets, which I think we're definitely going to be seeing with Overwatch in the near future. Like the one that like glares out to me the most is the card games. Like, Hearthstone came out, and now there's a million fucking card games out there, and all of them promise, like, oh, interesting campaigns and interesting characters. I'm like, bro, your campaign and your fucking card game isn't gonna be shit. And if it is, then correct me, but, like, I'm just like, how could you have an interesting campaign in a fucking playing card game? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I said again that we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of Overwatch clones pretty soon. Some of them probably going to be good, like Quake Champions, but other ones are going to be shit. They're not going to know what was good about Overwatch. They're just going to be like, look, 45 characters, and that's going to be it. Dude, Dead Rising 4! Dead Rising 4! There was rumors about it right before E3, and I'm so glad that they're real, because I love Dead Rising. Dead Rising is just so fucking ridiculous and goofy and fun, and I love it. And it looks like they're going all out with that in this one, because it goes back, it's set at Christmas in Willamette, Colorado, like the first one was. I mean, the first one wasn't Christmas, but this one's Christmas. Frank West is back. I saw, like, a candy cane launcher, and, like, a car with a zombie catapult on it, and, like, an exosuit. I just can't wait to kill some more zombies in ridiculous ways. The next one, I was really cynical about Scalebound when I first saw it, but, like, it's pretty cool to see a new IP that looks like, that looks that impressive. I mean, it's of little interest to me for similar reasons because of Final Fantasy 15. Because it looks like a lot of spectacle, and like I'm not really interested in the aesthetic, like the dragon shit, and also like the punk beats headphones bullshit. I'm not that interested. And the gameplay doesn't really look that interesting to me, but I'm sure it definitely has its audiences, and I'm glad to see some more different kinds of games surfacing at E3, because it's definitely refreshing to see some new shit. Sea of Thieves, they showed off some gameplay. I mean, the other thing, like, they were definitely capitalizing on Let's Play culture, where, like, I'm pretty sure they just hired 4 random-ass gamers, put them in front of cameras, and told them to be as loud as they possibly fucking could, because it was literally all, what do we do? They were just yelling the entire time, and I think it would have been better if they didn't do that, but it's clear the audience that they're going for, so that's pretty cool. And I am very, very glad to see Rareware actually making a, like what could be a good game now, because, like, up until now, since it had been bought by Microsoft, up until now, it was really just a name that, they're just like, look, it was a name that they could just pin on something to give it a little bit more credibility, and now I'm glad that they're not doing that anymore. I'm glad that they're actually, like, saying, oh, we've actually got a decent game company on our hands, and, they can actually do something. I thought State of Decay was a piece of shit, so I will definitely not be getting State of Decay 2 unless it proves to impress after it comes out. But as for anticipation, I'm not anticipating that game at all. And, dude, the bombshell of this conference was definitely at the end when they talked about Project Scorpio. Like, I don't really care about 4K rendering or anything like that, or like however many teraflops you can fit into a fucking Xbox, because I don't have a 4K display, and I probably won't within the next few years, because I'm a college student and I'm fucking broke. But, it is very cool to see... It is very cool to see them taking that crazy step forward in terms of console gaming, because, like, console gaming has always been seen as, like, you know, second banana. It's like, it'll never be as powerful as a PC. Well, guess what? Now it fucking is, bitch. And I mean, I don't mean to, like, if you're a fan of PC gaming, then be a fan of PC gaming. That's okay. We all have our opinions. But, like, it is a really crazy step for Microsoft and for Sony with the PS4 Neo to be making a console with that kind of processing power. And I'm glad that they're going to be releasing it in tandem and, like, treating it as a member of the Xbox family rather than a step forward. So they're going to sell alongside each other. They're going to sell Xbox One Slim, and Project Scorpio when it releases next year. So that's really cool, and I'm anxious to see what Microsoft can do, because a few years ago they were the you know, the town fucking joke, and you know, I'm glad that they're turning themselves around. Most of that credit, I'm sure, goes to Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is he's just a fucking G. He's a boss. I fucking love Phil Spencer. All right, moving on to Sony. Like I said, Sony fucking kicked ass this year. Their press conference was so good, and they really know how to They really know how to kick off a press event, man. Like, just getting straight into the games and starting off with one of their biggest first-party IPs, but in a whole new way. When Kratos came out, I actually thought that was Horizon Zero Dawn at first, because the little redheaded kid, I thought that was the Huntress, but, like, smaller as a child. Ow, I just bit my tongue. But I thought that was Horizon Zero Dawn at first, but then I hear everybody shouting and screaming when Kratos comes out, and I'm like, who is this guy? Wait, who is it? What's going on? Because it looks very different. And then I eventually figured it out. I see the red tattoos and the gray skin. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking Kratos! Like, this doesn't look like a God of War game. What is this? And then it turns out that it's in Norse mythology now, because I heard the giant, like, thing, like, Kratos looks more like a Viking now, because with his beard and his axe. And that big, giant, like, creature thing, the troll or whatever the fuck that Kratos was fighting, it said something about Valhalla, so that's Norse mythology right there. Dude, Kratos as a fucking Viking? Awesome. Very good way to start off the, conference. They introduced a new IP, which, honestly, I and pretty much everybody else thought was Last of Us 2, but it's called Days Gone. And I mean, it looks like, you know, another zombie game, which I'm gonna talk about that more later, because they showed the trailer earlier in the press conference, and they showed the gameplay later. But I noticed the main character in that game is played by Sam Witwer, and a lot of people, I haven't heard anybody else mention that. But yeah, no, I really like Sam Witwer as an actor. I think he's a great and very underappreciated actor. So to see him getting like the main role in a game that looks like it can actually be good and where he can actually show off his acting chops, will be really, really cool, because he was the main character in Star Wars Force Unleashed, which, you know, the first one, they were pretty good games, like nothing too offensive about those games, but I don't know, I feel like it was very much too tethered to the Star Wars franchise, and that Sam Witwer really wasn't given that much to do. But yeah, now that he's in Days Gone, I feel like he can really, really show off his acting chops, and I think that he might be what sets that game apart from all the other zombie games out there. That, and just like because the gameplay really didn't, I'll just talk about it now. The gameplay really didn't look all that spectacular. It was mostly just like the sheer amount of zombies on screen was crazy. I wasn't expecting that. That looked ridiculous. But it was mostly just you shooting zombies and running away from them. So I was probably just to show off how many zombies they could fit on the screen at one time. So that was probably the purpose of that gameplay segment. But yeah, no, I'm really excited, and I hope I'm right about this. I haven't really seen him in all that much, but I think he has a lot of potential as an actor. I'm really excited to see Sam Witwer be able to portray the main character in a game, so that's pretty cool. And of course, they showed The Last Guardian again. You won't hear any complaints from me about that. Like I said in my 2016 game preview, I'm still in awe that that game is even a thing. I think it's amazing that that game even fucking exists, and now we have a release date for it. It's coming out in October. I didn't write down the release date. I think it's October 12th or 26th or something like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for Last Guardian again. I'm down for an adventure, and that's what that game looks like. They had Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, they had gameplay now. Definitely one of the most promising titles of like the near future, of like the next year or so. Definitely one of the most promising titles of E3 this year. The gameplay looks absolutely stunning. It looks like crazy intuitive. It looks very, very like complex, and just a lot of like, it looks like a lot of fun. And I'm glad they're listening to the audience when we say that at these conferences, we don't want just a hype-fueling cinematic trailer with a title at the end. We want to see the game. And that's what they've been doing. That's what Sony did. Sony did that for most, if not all, of their games this year. They had the God of War gameplay, they had gameplay for Horizon Zero Dawn, they had a little bit of gameplay for The Last Guardian, but they had a lot more last year, so that was a thing. But, yeah, and I'm really impressed with Horizon Zero Dawn, and I think that can be a lot of fun, you know? Like a game with that aesthetic and that kind of gameplay, also with dialogue choices like in Mass Effect, so that's kind of cool. I'm not sure how far they'll go with that, or if they'll go to the extent that they did Mass Effect, but the game looks awesome, and I can't wait to give it a try. Quantic Dreams Detroit Becoming Human or whatever, it's another stupid fucking subtitle, but I'm just gonna call it Detroit. It shows promise. I think that the premise is very interesting. You know, the androids living alongside humans, and the one was a cop, and he was like a negotiator. He had to go in and try and save that little girl. And there was a million ways that the scenario could play out. You know, we've seen that kind of stuff before, but they're really touting it as like the drawing feature for this game. So I hope that they do something like cool with it, and that there really is a very intuitive way to solve each thing, and then, like, if you miss something, then something won't be available to you or something like that. I mean, the game shows promise, but then again, so did Beyond when it first came out. It's really, with David Cage and with Quantic Dream, their games are hit or miss. From what I understand, I haven't played either of them, but from what I understand, Heavy Rain was a hit, Beyond was a miss. So we'll see where Detroit falls. Sony's just so good at, they're so good at like pacing their announcements. It's just like, you get a game, and 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 everybody gets games. It's just great. And then they have Infinite Warfare, which it's such an anomaly because it really, I guess people are just tired of their shit at this point, but like, it doesn't look offensively bad. There really isn't, like, the gameplay actually looked pretty good. It looked pretty standard Call of Duty. It looks actually a little bit different than anything we've really seen from Call of Duty. It looks different from Black Ops 3. It looks different from Advanced Warfare. And I think it could be a decent game, but like the popular thing to do right now is just shit on it and shit on it and shit on it. I have not seen one positive thing said about Infinite Warfare from any, like, comments or anything like that. Anything that I've read, everybody just shits on it, and I think that's kind of shitty, man. Like, a lot of people are putting their heart and soul into that game, and you're just gonna shit all over it. I don't know. I'm not gonna be one of those people that does that. I'm sure someone in my house is gonna get the game when it comes out this fall, so I'll definitely be playing it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, it's an anomaly, because, like, I think it could be a decent game. From what my perspective, I don't really care all that much, because I'm sort of fatigued on the whole, like, the space shooters like everybody else is right now. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I want to get to fucking Crash Bandicoot, dude. They brought... I geeked when they had the music playing, and when they brought up, like, the Aku Aku statue in the background or whatever, and, like, you see, what's his name? Sean Layden, that's his name. Sean Layden comes out with Crash Bandicoot's shadow underneath him, and they play the Crash Bandicoot dun 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 dun. I fucking geeked. I audibly screamed in my room, and my dad had to come in and be like, "Sally, mom's going to sleep." So that was fun. What they're doing with Crash is not a new game, like I was, secretly hoping for in the back of my mind. I was secretly hoping that because Uncharted 4 had just come out, Naughty Dog was gonna revive Crash Bandicoot and make a new game. That was the dream. They're probably the second best thing, is that they're remastering from the ground up Crash 1, 2, and 3. Which, I mean, is just fucking insane. Like, we get remasters all the time now, but, like, that one is just absolutely incredible, because those games, they hold up right now. They hold up today. So I think that building them from the ground up for the PS4, that will be such a huge, drastic difference, and I think that they will have the capability to be one of the best exclusives on the PS4. I cannot wait to play Crash Bandicoot, like Crash 2 especially. That's probably my favorite, but I can't wait to play those games on the PS4. I think that's going to be crazy. And they're also bringing him with Skylanders, which... whatever, man. That's fine. You do you. It was the natural course of action that they were going to take with Crash, just like they did with Spyro, and that's fine. But Crash 1, 2, and 3 on PS4, I'm so excited about. I hope they add some bonus content in there. And then they had Kojima come out and reveal his new game called Death Stranding, which, I mean, it looks maybe like Silent Hills, but not. It looks like Kojima and Norman Reedus are working together again, which I'm down to see what Kojima can do when he's not tethered to Konami, because, like, that, and when he's not tethered to his legacy, like, titles like Silent Hill and Metal Gear. I'm curious to see what the guy can do by himself. And, I mean, I think the trailer was whacked out. It was really, really strange, but I think it got across just enough of what we might see in the game, like with that whole, the dead people are unseen, but they still leave marks, like the baby was leaving marks on his leg with, like, the ink or whatever. And, yeah, it's a very intriguing and really weird premise, and I'm down to see Norman Reedus, whatever he can do. Norman Reed-ass. Norman Reed-ass. Yeah, I'm down for that. I can't wait to see more about it. The next is they revealed something that I didn't expect at all, which is a Spider-Man game being made by Insomniac, which has more potential than possibly any other title shown at E3. Like, that could be absolutely amazing. We're talking about a Spider-Man game with, like, web-slinging, crime-fighting, wisecracking Spider-Man, being made by the same people who made Ratchet & Clank and Sunset Overdrive. Two of the campiest, most ridiculous games that I've ever played in my life, and now they're making a Spider-Man game. And I think that can just be absolutely incredible. So that definitely shows a lot of promise, and I can't wait to see more about it. My next note is that, man, when Sean Layden came out, that guy has charisma. He's a great host. I'll listen to whatever he has to say. He definitely knows how to host a press event. He's just a great guy. I like him a lot. Yeah, and my last note was that the only weak spot was that Death Stranding, which was just an announcement, and Days Gone had no gameplay. But then they showed Days Gone gameplay, which, again, I think it looks alright. Like, I think it has promise. It could be hit or miss. But like I said, I think that to really set that game apart from other zombie games, it needs to have something special. And I think that something special might be Sam Witwer. So we'll see how that goes. But Hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's something impressive. Got it, guys. Fucking E3 is awesome. I love E3. It's just I'm so glad that all these games were announced, and I'm so happy that they're all coming out, and I can't wait to play them. And it's so great. All right, well, that's all I've got for you guys today. You know, stick around my channel for more content. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that nice, good, fucking peachy stuff. I have been the Mighty Mander, and I'll speak with you guys next time. Peace out.